Hello, y'all. Episode 294. Genius Take the Wheel. Yes, another Sunday, another leg day. And got a lot of inspiration from those tens of thousands of runners who are really putting their mental strength to the test by running 26.2 miles. I mean, people that are able to do that, you know, they are, they're a different breed. And as you guys know, Mrs. Evil is one of those different breed people running in her 4th New York City Marathon today. In fact, she's on the course right now. And so I will be doing a second live stream today, bringing her home, and she will be giving you guys the autopsy on her race. Now, we fully expect that she's going to finish the race. She's completed the race the previous 3 times that she's done the New York City Marathon. The same course as, she's always done. I don't think they really changed the course for the New York City Marathon. But she is gunning today for a faster time than she is normally used to getting in the marathon. And so we will see if she is able to set a personal best of her own. Now, I am not a runner. I ran track in high school, I sprinted and long jumped and all of that, but never really, I'm not a runner. I'm definitely not a long distance runner. But that's her chosen sport. And I tried to match her intensity today by going as hard as I could in my sport, which is picking things up and putting them down. I want to try to catch this light. So, every time I thought about how difficult it was, what I was doing today, I tried to think about how difficult it was for Mrs. Evil to do her thing and what she's doing, and it just made me push a little bit harder. It made me push a lot harder. And I had some fears today, I'll tell you that much. I had a lot of fear of... Thank you. The car greets me. I think it's only right to say thank you to our future AI overlords. All right, so I knew I just had to put the effort in. There were certain times where I was pretty afraid. Today was my first time ever putting 295 pounds on my back. And to be real with y'all, it was definitely more difficult than I was expecting. Way more difficult. And it was only 20. I thought to myself, it's only 20 pounds. But I think that neurologically, my brain really noticed a 20-pound difference. And so I ended up in pretty much the same predicament I was mechanically 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago on the squat, where I kind of failed myself a little bit. Let me just turn this off. I kind of failed myself a little bit because I tried to adhere to the movement patterns and the movement principles, but it was difficult for me to deal with the, a new type of stress that I am just not used to. So I had to really think about what I was doing. And I think that fear, the neurological fear, was a little bit more powerful than I wanted it to be. So like the first rep, I just expected it to go well. So I went super deep with the squat, and I definitely got a wake-up call from my nervous system. So, the second set was pretty difficult, and then I called somebody over to spot me on the third set, because the difficulty, I think just being surprised by how difficult 295 was for 3 compared to 275 for 5. I was just kind of taken aback. I just thought I had it in the bag. So I think that shock factor kind of played with my confidence to the point where I lost a lot of the confidence that I thought that I was going to have. And I had to ask somebody if they could help me with the spot on the squat on set 3, and I actually felt better on set 3 than on sets 1 and 2. Now, it makes sense why. I knew I had a spotter, so I knew that like if I failed, that I wasn't going to die today. So I was able to sell out for performance and not worry about the fear. And so that definitely played a role in how well the third set went. The third set went way better than set 1 and 2. I did kind of hedge my bet just a hair on set 3. I only got to a good depth on the squat. I didn't get to a great depth, but I was scared. And I'm not afraid to say it. I was scared. And so I dealt with the fear, and I kind of, figured out what my issues were, and I addressed the issues, and it turned out that it ended up pretty successful. So I did do all 9 reps of 295. Now, these are the very first reps in my life ever at this weight. So I had to kind of give myself some grace. I was not mechanically as sound, and I was not as confident as I thought that I should be under the circumstances. But this is the first time my nervous system has ever felt, 5 pounds away from 300 on my shoulders. So I have to keep things in perspective and understand that I am creeping little by little towards squatting 1.75 times my body weight, and my nervous system is just not built for that yet. So what I expect to happen, this is my last barbell back squat before I go on vacation. I do believe that I'm probably gonna have to go backwards on my next leg day. I'm gonna have to go backwards, maybe to 285. I might just stick at 3 reps at 295. I might just do that. But I know that when I warm up the next time I go to squat, basically 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have to consider pulling back, because I am going to miss my next leg day. I thought that there might be a way that maybe I can move my leg day to Saturday and still get it done. At least, the marathon punishment day. But it's just not feasible, because I think I have to set my alarm for like 4:30 a.m. And I don't think that I'll be ready to squat and deadlift heavy. But I also think that maybe if I do my regular leg day this coming Wednesday, on Friday I can do a slightly less intense leg day to kind of keep the pressure and keep the work on the legs at least close enough, because I don't want to do a leg day on Wednesday, skip Sunday, skip Wednesday again, because I'll be on a boat on Sunday and I'll be on a boat on Wednesday, and I come back on Thursday or Friday or whatever. I think that I can minimize the dereliction effect of not squatting this coming Sunday by maybe squatting at 245, 250 to kind of feel some stress on my legs, and then maybe deadlift 350 or 375 instead of 405, just to make sure that I don't go too long without having that kind of stress on my nervous system, and then I have to kind of pare back. So I might do something on Friday. I might, especially if I get to pack my bags for the trip early, I'll think about doing that. But I got the total of 9 reps at 295 in the squat. Then I hit 9 reps total at 635 on the leg press. That was really easy. So I might be tempted to go to 5 sets of 3 on the leg press on Wednesday. I could. Or I'm thinking that I can stay 3x3 on the leg press, because I would like to go into my vacation hitting 4 plates on the hack squat for the first time. And I really do think I can do it. I really think I can do it. And of course, having this amount of neurological stress on my body, I think will make it easier for me to get accustomed to squatting 295 with the kind of ease that I had at 275 last week. Last week was the first time that 275 felt easy. So I do have to kind of respect the the process, so to speak. Yeah, I have to kind of just let my body recover and then see what's what. But I am excited about what's on the horizon. And I think that that's always got to be the mentality. You can't always be fearful of your training. You can't. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a healthy fear that you want to have where you're near the bleeding edge of what you're capable of. But you also want to look to the future and say, well, if I'm able to do this at this rate, after I recover and continue to improve my mechanics and my force production, and I become more confident, what will I be able to accomplish a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, this time next year? And so I'm always keeping my mind toward the goal, so that the fear doesn't take over. Sometimes, like today, I was a little bit fearful of the deadlift today, but I had to remind myself that the 405 deadlift is not even the goal. That's not the promised land. The real goal is 500 pounds. And when I get to 500 pounds, I'll be somewhat satisfied at that point. But when I think about how I want to go for 500, I have to learn to put the fear of 405 away, because 405 is only 80% of the goal. So if I'm afraid of a weight this light by comparison, then I'll never reach the next goal. So I'm always trying to think, okay, yes, today is difficult, but I'm working for the end of December where I put 5 plates on and I separate those 5 plates from the floor. And I think I can do it. And when I put my mind on that, it allows me to attack the multiple reps at 405 a whole lot better. I love the confidence that I had going into the squat. I just don't love the confidence I had coming out of it. But I did attack it. I just had more neurological stress than I was expecting. And I do like the way the third set went with the spotter. I'm going to meet and exceed these goals. And that's the mindset that I have. Mrs. Evil is trying to get a PR in the marathon today. She wants to break the 5-hour mark. And, she said even last year she hit a mental wall, not necessarily a physical wall, but she reached a mental wall after the 18th mile, somewhere between mile 18 and mile 20. And that slowed her down to where she stopped her progress, and it slowed her down tremendously. She ended up finishing the race, but she wants more than just finishing the race. And I have been, trying to encourage her. Hey, how you feeling about your pace? How you feeling mentally? How you feeling physically? And sometimes you have to just kind of push yourself a little bit farther than you think you can, and lo and behold, you'll find, oh wow, I was way more capable than I thought I was. So we're trying to see if she can get under 5 hours. For me, in my opinion, if she breaks 5:15, it's a win. If she breaks 5:20, it'll be a PR. But it would be fucking lovely if the first number that she sees when she crosses the finish line is a 4 and not a 5. So she's trained very hard and her confidence is up. She fueled up properly for the week. She even looked like she got a decent amount of sleep last night, all things considered. So shout out to her. In about 3 hours or so, we're going to do a Genius Take the Wheel episode 295, and it will be, you know, the Mrs. Evil finishes the New York City Marathon edition at that time. And it's going to be all about her and her giving her autopsy of the race and how she felt, you know, first, 3 miles, 5 miles, 7.4 miles, 12 miles, 17, where did she hit the wall mentally or physically? She will give us her accounting of how she experienced the New York City Marathon today. So that will be around 3 hours from now. We'll be right back here for a second Genius Take the Wheel. And I'm really hoping that she gets the outcome that she deserves, that she worked really hard for, not just over the last year since the last New York City Marathon, but also what she has been doing since she has just taken on long distance running as a sport well over a decade ago. So I just want her to get the fastest time. I mean, obviously, if you want to get all of the world's major marathons in, you have to qualify for the Boston Marathon, and you have to be pretty comfortably under the 3.5 hour mark. So we understand that the 5 hour mark is just a preliminary goal to break, so that when she trains for another year and another year, we can start looking at 4:45 as a goal, 4:30 as a goal. And before you know it, she'll be fighting to get that 3.5 and then get beyond 3.5 so that she can qualify for the Boston Marathon. She's done 2 of the world's majors already in the Berlin Marathon and in the New York City Marathon, but she wants to do Chicago and Boston. I think Sydney is a new one. And there is also Tokyo. There might be one more. New York, Boston, Chicago. Oh, London. London's the other one. But she got into the Brighton Marathon. But she wants to get London and Tokyo, Boston and Chicago. And now they just added a 7th with, I think, Sydney. Although I believe they give you the majors medal if you do 6 of the 7, because they just added the 7th. But knowing her, she wants to travel all over the world. She's going to want to get that 7th one as well. But we know that the Boston one is going to be the difficult one to get into, and that's what she's training for. Of course, you start doing 3 hour, 3:15, 3:25 marathons, you can run anywhere in the world at that point. So that's what we're looking at for the lady. I will be back in about 3 hours time to go pick her up and see how she's doing. But for the work that I did today, I really tried to get some inspiration from the lady. I know she's working super hard. And if you're listening to this while you're on the course, I want you to know that I worked harder because I know you're working hard. And if you get any inspiration from hearing what I did in your honor today, hopefully it gives you that little bit extra to at least get a personal record. I fully expect Mrs. Evil will get her personal record. I think her fastest marathon time was around 5 hours and 35 minutes. I'm almost certain she's going to smash that. But man, what kind of celebration could we have if that first number starts with a 4. And that's what I'm rooting for. I'm really, really, really hoping that she's feeling, you know, very confident, that she is feeling all the feels. She gets the second win when she needs to get it. I'm just rooting. And I worked a little bit harder today because I know she's working hard out there too. So I will see you guys back in a few hours when I go to pick her up. And we're gonna allow her to tell her story as far as how the marathon went for her. So come on back if you like inspirational fitness type vlogging, video game, life discussion type shit. Please subscribe, at least subscribe long enough for you to get a notification that we'll be back when she is done with the marathon, and we'll see what kind of time she got. I'm a little bit nervous. My hands are kind of shaking a little bit because I'm thinking about, I feel almost as nervous as she was when she was getting prepared for the race. So anybody else running the New York City Marathon, you guys are way better people than me. You guys are mentally stronger than me. Y'all got that. I may be able to lift heavy weight for my height and weight, but you guys can run and run and run and run for hours and hours and hours and put that type of long-term pain away. I can't do it. I can't do it the way that you can do it. So, hey, I'm getting an image from Mrs. Evil. So she's on her way. All right, let me get out of here, y'all. I'm gonna go check on where her placement is in the Roadrunners app and see what kind of pace she's on, and we'll see what's what. But again, as always, thank you for supporting what I do here on this channel. I really try to be as helpful and inspirational as I can, because I believe that the world tells you what you can buy, and I want to tell you what you're capable of, what you're capable of achieving. So I want you guys to almost internalize my struggles as a guy well over the age now of 40, at age 42 and a half, and understand that no matter what age you are, it ain't over until you say it's over. You can be as aggressive as you want to be to get better at whatever it is you want to get better at. So I think I might want to try my hand again at language learning, but we'll see. Anyway, I will be around in about 3 hours, and hopefully Mrs. Evil will be here, and we will hopefully have a celebration here on this channel as we hear what she has to say about her experience running a marathon. Until then, I will see you later.